Hey, welcome back. My name is Christian Paul. I'm going to talk about today what's happening in Venezuela and the prisoners that are being released. For those who didn't know that they were political prisoners, they are political prisoners. More than 1,000, probably more than 2,000. We don't know for sure. There are some estimates, but now I'm going to show you some videos from some years ago, that this was 5 years ago, when he was in an interview with a very famous journalist from actually who lives in the States, Jorge Ramos, and he was asking the dictator back then what is he going to do with the political prisoners. And for on the one hand, that's what most of the dictators do. They reject, they deny any kind of assessment or any kind of information about the political prisoners. And on the other hand, that's also what the dictators do, especially in Latin America. They build their own truthful commission. That's how they call it, the truthful commission. A commission that they themselves choose the people are going to be involved, and they themselves choose the conclusions in which the committee is going to arrive. That happened with Maduro, that happened with Rafael Correa, that happened with many of the dictators we have had, and that's what they do. What they do is that they build their own commission, and out of their own commission, they are going to then they're going to study what's the position or what's the situation of these political prisoners, and what they arrive to, they are not political prisoners. That's something unlike what happens with Hamas. Where do the official numbers come from? It comes from Hamas, right? Where the official numbers of supposedly civilians killed by the Israelites forces, where do they come from? From Hamas. That's the same thing that happens here. And by the way, if you didn't know, Venezuela had Iranian troops already in an island called Margarita, and also Venezuela had Hezbollah already working in Venezuela as in a space also in the same island, but in a space not only to have some military training, but also to influence in Latin America. And we have had very, very unusual events, especially in Argentina. We'll talk about it in another video. But now let's come back to the political prisoners in Venezuela, and this is what Jorge Ramos, this was, as I told you, 5 years ago, what the dictator back then used to say and how he used to protect himself from these already allegations that we had back then.
De más de 400 presos políticos. ¿La quiere?
Tus listas, tú y tus posiciones.
Hay más de 400 presos políticos.
There are more than 400 political prisoners. We have the list. Do you want the list or no? And he said, no, I don't want the list. We have our own commission. So that's all what we need, our own commission.
La Comisión por la Verdad. No dejes nada que no me lo voy a llevar, ten la seguridad.
Amazing. Jorge Ramos is telling him, look, I have here the list of the 400. Listen, this was 5 years ago. Of the 400 political prisoners, I have the list here. Do you want it? No, I don't want any list. So you can just take the list and be careful. Now you're going to see, because Maduro is going to threaten these journalists. Be careful. Be careful. I'm telling you for the second time or third time. Be careful.
Te llevas tu basurita, compadre. Agarra
Take your garbage. That's what he said.
tu basurita, Jorge Ramos.
Son prisioneros. Traigo aquí una lista de más de 400 presos políticos. ¿La quiere?
Tus listas, tú y tus posiciones.
Hay más de 400 presos políticos.
Mira, la Comisión por la Verdad. No dejes nada que no me lo voy a llevar, ten la seguridad. Tú te llevas.
The commission, the truthful commission, that's always what they say, the truthful commission. We have the truthful commission, and they already have the conclusions, and there are no political prisoners, so why would we release any of them? And this, the next video I'm gonna show you, it's a recent video in which he is actually mocking the political prisoners, and he's actually telling, you're going to go to this prison. I'm telling you, stop crying. That's what he's saying. Stop crying. You're going to go to this prison. That's why when you see now many Venezuelans being happy, it's not only because they are releasing the prisoners now. Apparently, there are numbers are a bit of the information about the numbers are a bit scarce now, but we know that around 20 political prisoners since the U.S. arrest of the dictator, they have been released, and people are amazed. Many of these new now free people are already in Spain. Others are already going to their different countries. Journalists, activists, many of these people that were already in prison for years, they've been released. And the video I'm gonna show you right now, it's the video in where the dictator used to mock them, and they call them crying babies. And he's kind of like dancing as always and trying to mock everything and trying to actually make a parody of their suffering.
No seas llorón, vas pa Tocorom.
Don't be a crying baby. You're going to Tocoron. That's the name of a prison. I'm gonna show you in a bit.
No seas llorón, vas pa Tocorom. Tum tum. No seas llorón, vas pa Tocorom.
Yep, that's what he used to say. That's how he used to mock those political prisoners. That's how he was. And for me, again, as I said in the last video, how is it possible that many of these communist and even socialist groups, especially of youngsters, they're normally talking about freedom, they're normally talking about free this land. But when it comes to a real dictator, when it comes to a real persecutor, they go to the other direction. They start supporting the dictator. And not even that, some of them, and many of people that live in Europe or in the States, they remain quiet, not taking positions because somehow it's not politically correct. We are tired of that, especially in this region, in Latin America. We are tired of that. That's why we have Javier Milei in Argentina. That's why we have Bukele in El Salvador. That's why the region is changing. We are tired of those ideologies coming from these countries, colonizing us and telling us what to do. We have to take care of these positive rights, which are no rights. Positive rights are just benefits for special groups or for minorities, if you wish. It's just benefits. So they want to impose those ideas, and they've been very successful, but we're fighting back now. Let me show you. This is the political prison that Maduro was talking about, Centro Penitenciario de Aragua. It's called the Tocoron. That's the word that he used to mock the political prisoners. There are around 7,000 prisoners. Many of them are political prisoners, and many of them are just waiting for the time to be released. So from here, we are happy. We are very happy that Maduro was arrested. We are extremely happy that he's facing justice. And more than that, we are very expectant of what's happening in Venezuela. With the oil production, we are tired of having another dictator in Cuba. We are happy that it's going to be also in the panorama and probably in the planning of changing this region. So until next time, thank you so much for following this new channel. Goodbye.